Alright, today I'm just going to be laddering with some budget decks. I haven't played much on this account this month, so I think I'm only in gold right now. So we'll just try to get that up a little bit and see if we can get any solid games. So at the start I'm just going to mulligan some of the more reactive cards. I want to have some kind of proactive play on my early turn. My opponent opens up with a Primus Fist, so this leaves the Mantella a little bit weak. So I think on this turn I'm actually going to play a Grow, and then play a Blood Tier, and then use the Razor Skin to buff up the Grow. And the Blood Tier just to add a little extra damage to the board. The rest of my minions, the Wings and the Mantella, already have pretty high damage, so I don't necessarily need to buff them up in that way. Now Falcius is a strong card to come down here, but you'll notice that it's not actually too bad of a scenario for us here. As soon as I say that, we get hit with the First Wish, which kind of puts a little damper on my plan of killing off both the minions. So instead I think we're going to go for a little bit more of a board flood here. We're going to play the Mantella, and then play the this is called Ubuntu, and then the Dex, and then just hit this so it will die if it attacks anything else. We're not really concerned about our health, we're more concerned with getting them dead as soon as possible. And we still have a pretty decent hand, and our Bloodborne spell is about to come online, so we can start reloading our hand pretty quickly. We just don't want to run into like a Nimbus, which we're protected from right now, but could come down in the next turn. Now on this turn I don't think we want to play the Puppy Dragon in any scenario. I think I'm going to play the Grow here, and then the Mantella next to it. Now this is the type of spot where we want to be wary of our opponents playing Nimbus. Now right here, instead of attacking the Falcius, I think I'm just going to run forward. It can't actually move to attack any of my minions, and I think I can just kind of push the tempo here. I'm not in a great spot because we don't have a huge board presence, and our opponent's on 5 mana, has 5 cards in hand. So this isn't like the ideal scenario for us. If our Grow ends up attacking this, I think it could attack this rather than General if the General moves here. It still survives, so that's not a nightmare scenario for us. And we'll just have to figure out how to reload the board a little bit. Our opponent's down to 15, we're at 15. No, actually at 19. We're at 15 if we decide to kill this. Depending on this, we'll actually just run here. So now we're at 15. So right now I think we want to draw a card, because we can play everything in our hand already. And I think we got another Mantella. We've done, I think, all of our Mantellas this game. So we're going to play a lot of minions down on the board. And in this scenario I'm not sure if it's better to use the Razor Skin or deploy the Dex. Right now we're just really hoping for no, what's the word? Mario Healer is something we expect. We're not happy about it, but it's not outside of the realm of what we can anticipate our opponent playing, so we're prepared for it. These will trade. Actually, no, this will be provoked. So I think this will attack first. So that's actually decent for us. We are down to 10 health all of a sudden, but now Puppy Dragon I think is just too slow here. By the time it comes online, we are likely going to be dead. I think we can draw here because our opponent doesn't even draw a card, so that's pretty good for us. And we actually draw into a Thumping Wave, which would give us lethal if we had the mana. So right now I think we just want to protect ourselves from dying by playing these minions. And I think we can just play everything here. And I think we attack. In case we get provoked, we want this 10 damage to be lethal and try to maneuver around an Amaria Healer. So if an Amaria Healer were to come down like right here, we could play something back here and still go for 10, but our general wouldn't be able to attack. I don't think our opponent has a great way of bursting us down, although they could kill, for instance, this with a ping and then move forward, and then they'd only need 2 more damage, so like a ping and a Falcius kills us. So that's a reason not to attack there, but I think a second Amaria Healer isn't something that we want to let slide. Now here they only get 2, which is actually pretty nice for us. We've actually played around this relatively decently by accident. I wasn't really anticipating the Star's Fury. And we actually don't care much about any of these things, provided that we are able to just get in for the 10. And it looks like that's going to be the case. Now, if we got down to 4, that would mean we couldn't get in for the victory. So I'm not sure if attacking was the correct move. I had my reasons, of course, but I'm not 100% convinced they justify the attacks. So that's the type of play that I'd want to think more about and think about the different scenarios that, yeah, we want to tip. It's always nice to tip. Oh, so we've had some wins. So we'll play hit, we might be able to hit diamond later today, depending on how much we play. So that was a pets game. We'll try, oh, what's a nice one? Try the Dervish deck. I like that one. I've been experimenting with the new budget Saj deck. It's difficult to think of a good Saj deck that's a budget one because they tend to be mid-range or control. So I haven't really found a good list that playing Saj is an improvement over playing Zirix. You don't want to just play the other general if it's going to be worse. You kind of want to be able to utilize the Blood Plunge spell because that's the main differentiator. So that's what I'm, trying to think of. So you want to incorporate some weapons, I think, or artifacts, excuse me, and maybe some Falcius, which is, I think, we played in Dervish deck as it is. So now we're actually playing the reverse matchup. We're playing Starhorn, and we're going to be the Zirix deck. So in this case, what do we want to do? We don't really want Inner Oasis right away, and we probably don't want Scarab right away, although we get a turn 2 Scarab using the Ray, so maybe we get a little greedy and just mulligan this way. Depending on how aggressive our opponent is. This is a Kajuta list. Okay, so what are we thinking here? We probably don't need a second wish, but I'm thinking that having the Scarab might be nice. I wonder how aggressively we can go with this. I'm afraid if my opponent walks forward... I'm actually not too afraid if they walk forward, so I think I'm going to put this here because it's a little safer. And now we have the second ray. I'm not really sure. Now they're moving the Kajuta up, which is interesting, because they played it pretty far back to defend it. I imagine it was to defend it against our ability to just run at them. Now we might see like a Rawr come down, or... Yeah, this is interesting. This is actually similar to the deck I played to S rank last month. Well, this is not a great situation for us here. We might be just overwhelmed pretty quickly. Okay. So we actually don't need these rays right here. And if we move forward here, we're going to be able to play the... what are we going to be able to play? We'll be able to play the Scarab. So, the first battle pet that will attack is this one. So I think I want to put a ray here to to disable it. So I think I'm going to drop back, and I'm going to play this. I'm also going to play this here. This is going to get sacrificed, because there's not much we can do to protect it. This is going to take 5 at least, and then they can move. They actually don't have a way to move to attack it right away. And I think they'll get another battle pet out of this. They can move, they can move down here and attack it. So we'll take out the Kajuta just because why give them anything else. So we're going to hope to be able to try to slow down the game a little bit using our Scarab, and then hope to get a good dominate will and kind of swing the game that way, because we don't have a lot of high power level cards in this deck. We only need a season early advantage, and we haven't been able to do so because the flash into Rawr just puts a ton of stats on the board, and that's why I played this deck. Oh, we didn't actually dispel this, we dispelled this, which isn't actually that bad. Taking that down to a 4, from a 4-4 to a 2-2 that doesn't rebirth is actually really nice for us. So he doesn't have a ton of mana, so we're not in the worst shape, really. That's going to die. We're going to kill this. Oh, that's a card. Okay, well, at least we can kill some of these. This is not a situation that's great. This is a Visionar, and this is a Vindicator. Wow, and those both work really well in Starhorn, and we don't have a way to kill those. So we're going to attack this. Oh, no, actually, what do we want to do? This is interesting. We don't really want this to be able to kill a Scarab. We want a Scarab to attack along these lines, I believe. I think this is something we're going to do. We want to, I think, move here, and then maybe play this, which will get attacked by a couple of battle pets. Then I think we want to buff this, because we want to see if we draw anything that can attack this right away, and we don't. So then we want to move this here, and attack along these lines. And then we're going to attack here, and attack here. So we're in trouble with this and this. This is not great for us. So we're going to try to dominate will this, I think, is going to be our play as the game goes on. Or actually, we're a turn short of that. So luckily we're going to draw cards, but we're actually full up on cards, so the benefit isn't that great. And they're going to have just a handful of battle pets. We're going to be milling cards away. Well, actually, we don't do any damage because it had force field, so that's not the worst thing. But since we drew a card, our opponent got another tick off this, so that's not great. So what they might do, they might just attack my face because I'm getting low, and then play Spelljammer there. Huh, that is interesting. So they're trying to block me off, which is not a terrible strategy. So what we can do is, this is rather large. We don't have a great way to attack that. wonder if we could... What we want to do is try to clear the board as much as possible. And the ways we do that, we can summon things using these. I think this is the card we need the least. Dominate Will is a good draw. Eventually. So I think we go like this. And like this. Drop this back here. Run this in here. And play Whisper. We're going to get things right here, and we can attack for exactly enough to kill this. I actually forgot to account for the card draw. This is a very strange game we're playing here. And then I'm going to take a step back and attack like this, and I think I'm going to attack this just to kill it off. So we're down at pretty low health, so this isn't a great scenario for us. This is going to get huge. Outside of a Dominate Will, we're going to be in trouble, and it's very hard to just Dominate Will a huge minion like that. So we are not in the best of places, that's certainly true. But hopefully we can try to... Okay, we can steal that, which is good, because our hope is that our opponent is relying on that to do some work. So I think this is our worst card. Right here, this will attack this as long as we don't... If we move like this, and then like this, and we can finish something off with this here, and then we can attack this here to try to preserve our health. Our opponent still has a lot of minions on the board. Oh, I should have... No, actually that wouldn't even do anything. I think this will attack here though, right? So this will die by these two attacking. This will continue to move up and be enormous. So we're just going to have to try to bait our opponent into attacking or getting this too close and then turning it around with this Dominate Will. So we probably can't use this Dominate Will on anything other than the... Okay, we're likely looking at a Mecanter coming down here, it looks like. Oh, a Death Blighter. Wow, that's a card I do not see ever, I would say. Huh. These are some really interesting cards. And they've done a good job, actually, of setting it up so that we don't have a good way to... Okay, I think we're going to be comfortable with a thing getting huge. We're going to play something like this and this. And I'm going to attack here. And unfortunately both of these have force field, so I could kill this by running in here. But I think I want all my things to survive for a turn, so I'm going to play this instead. And then just... it doesn't matter. I'll take 2 damage off of this attacking, unless this can get buffed. See, right now we had to be prepared for like a thumping wave or something along those lines. Even if we manage to clear our opponent's entire board, we're still not in an amazing position. Hopefully our opponent just goes for the board clear here, and doesn't just hit us in the face. I don't know. We might have some Dispels. If we had Dispels in the deck, this is quite clearable. Oh, this is not good for us. Huh, see if they... Okay, I don't think we need this, because that's a little too slow. That's also slow, but... at some point you run out of things you can meaningfully do. So this can't... So next turn is the turn we're looking to Dominate Will. So I think right now we want to go like this, and hit here. And then like this. And hit here. And then go like this. this right here, and I think just go like this. We're in a position, we're just trying to eat up as much damage with our minions from the battle pets, and even though they're drawing 2 cards a turn, hopefully just wear them out of cards, but Magma has so many rush minions, they will always kind of in a position to be killed by those. Unfortunately, playing the first Dominate will probably tip them off to our second Dominate will. Oh wow. Okay. So that's a lot of 1919s. Oh, 21 21s now. And I think we're likely going to find that we do not have enough to stay alive. Even if we were to move, yeah, no matter where we move, they can attack and back. So we have to concede. So we weren't able to take that one, and that Chrysalis burst really did a number on us, and was very difficult to deal with. But we were able to fight back, kind of by using our resources a little bit cleverly in places. And I think it was just a situation where we didn't necessarily have the right answers at that time. We didn't have Scorn, and we didn't have any pings, so we were only able to kill the 2 minions. Right here, we're playing against Lilithe, so some pings might be okay, but I don't think we need as many as we have. So this Naga is actually really good. This is just going to be a Faice deck. Faice, that's what they call it sometimes. So we're just going to try to aggressively take control of the board and deal damage, and hopefully we don't get hit with a Shadow Dancer, which would be a big sort of swingy turn. Now this is nice for us because we can hit the Jaxie. We don't really mind that at all, actually. The Shroud does almost nothing here. It just makes this, yeah. So we're going to hit this. And then we're going to ping that off. And then I'm just going to play a Blaze Hound here to protect our Blood Tear from dying. And I think I'm just going to try to rotate over here a little bit and just ping this off. I might have been able to maneuver these better, but basically we just want to start being aggressive as soon as possible. Don't let them play any number of, don't let them get that Death Watch kind of combo going. Wraithling Swarm's nice for us because we have the Naga, which we'll play right here. We'll move this forward first, attack here, and we'll play like this. And we don't mind taking the damage at all. And then we'll just sort of rotate this down here. So we don't mind if our things start dying off. I guess the play they would be looking to do is play something like a, what is it, Priestess. I think Blood Moon Priestess is the 3/3 that when, with Death Watch, summon a Wraithling. So if they were to play that, for instance, back up, play that here, and summon some Wraithlings, that could be a situation where we start getting into trouble. But we do have the Naga plus the Blood Tier, so we can actually kill it off if they play it somewhere. And if they don't play anything threatening, Spelljammer we're not worried about, I don't think. We just don't care that much about it. It actually helps us. We'll probably kill it off, but it's not of great concern, I don't think. I don't think we need both of these. Actually, I think now is just a good time to use the Hailstone. This is a little more expensive now. And right here, since either of these will die if we were to attack with them, I think we just want to run this up. And we can play this defensively. And then we can attack with this and run up here and run up here. So we don't have a huge board right now, is something to notice. And we didn't utilize our Bloodborne spell, which is something that we want to do often, if we can, because it's so, it's such a great clock. So you see the spell jam. We might be able to go for lethal here. The shroud makes it difficult to go for lethal here, actually. So instead, we're likely just going to try to kill this. What if I were to hit this? And then play this here. So I'm actually getting rather low, but I don't know if that's a concern. And we can, for instance, play the blood tier and move this up and attack here and here. And I don't think we need this because I think we have a ton of minions in our deck to draw anyways. I think we'd rather have a little bit more direct damage. Like this is just damage out of hand. So we're not going to die here. Well, we're most likely just like a Shadow Sister into something that deals damage to our minions or something along those lines. We have 6 out of hand damage as long as one of our minions is in attack range. Otherwise we just have the 3 plus the 2. So we have 8, I guess, total. So like a Shadow Sister plus Wraithlings that spawn right here would give them some amount of, give them 8 health. Well, if they were to put the Shadow Sister up front as well, what we do is immediately dispel it. Grasp, okay. I wonder where that's going. And then, okay, so they actually managed to clear all our minions, but we still will have lethal here because we can move forward with the general. Yep, we move forward with the general, we'll attack, we'll play this, and then we'll finish off with the Chromatic Hold. So right there, we just really stayed on top of our opponent and didn't let them get anything going, and didn't let them deploy any of those Death Watch minions, because there is kind of a tempo disadvantage to playing them, and you need to have a board. So we kept clearing the board and just stayed right on top of our opponent. And I think I probably, when you're playing so many spells, and you're moving so many minions around and having to make choices with aggro decks, especially in Duelist where there's the board positioning, you're probably going to be making mistakes every single turn in terms of positioning. And I definitely did that, I'm sure. I don't know exactly what the mistakes were, but I'm sure I've made some. So it'd be interesting to kind of go back and look at those games. And sometimes if you see a game a second time, you kind of think of a line that you didn't think of at all the first time, and it seems so obvious to you the second time that you really wonder, why you didn't play that line. And sometimes you just tunnel vision on a certain line. So we had some good games. We played 3. I think we won 2 of them. We lost to that Starhorn deck that really jumped on us. And otherwise, some good games. This is just budget deck laddering. I'm only in gold right now, but we'll get up to S rank towards later in the month. Although I think we're about halfway there. So I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks.